I can smell perfume.
There is definitely something trying to draw the energy out of the air here.
Sweetie.
I do not like this room one bit.
Hello, I'm Yvette Fielding, and this week I've brought you to a historical site that has seen kings and many battles, but now has its fair share of ghosts. In this two-part investigation, Most Haunted will take on the might of Fort Paull, and tonight we'll be investigating the paranormal activity that wreaks havoc above ground.
Fort Paull has a long history dating back to 1542, when the infamous King Henry VIII commissioned a defence for the Humber ports and the city of Kingston upon Hull. 100 years later, King Charles I constructed the second Fort Paull just prior to the outbreak of the English Civil War. During this war, considerable cannon fire damaged the structure. The fort was used as a training base between the two world wars, and during World War II it was converted into a magazine serving the Russian convoys. A degaussing station was also added. In 1960 the fort was closed down, but in 1964 the Friends of Fort Paull took over the site and began to restore the fort as a museum. Over time, the fort has been added to and reshaped. It has seen battles, and thousands of men and women have been a part of a British defence that has stood the test of time. Over the years, many people have experienced some strange occurrences at Fort Paull, many of which can't be explained. The ghost of an airman on the huge plane, the Blackburn Beverley. A lady wearing Victorian clothing has been seen in the old train carriage. Dark, sinister shapes and noises have been seen and heard from King Henry VIII's fort. Over the next 2 episodes, we will endeavour to capture some evidence of the paranormal activity that allegedly takes place at Fort Paull.
This transport plane, called the Blackburn Beverley, sits majestically within the walls of Fort Paull. It was first built in 1954 and used in training exercises up and down the Humber. Ghostly footsteps, strange voices, and the ghost of an airman has been seen walking throughout the whole of the plane. Who is he, and why does he haunt? This is a restaurant car of a British military train that would have done many runs from East to West Germany from 1945 right up until 1991. Now, it would have carried many soldiers, but also it carried a king. Not a monarch, but the king of rock and roll. Allegedly, Elvis Presley himself sat in this very carriage. But it's the ghost of a Victorian lady that I'm very keen to talk to. This truly is a mystery train. This is the Henry VIII fort, one of the oldest parts of the building. It's a warren of pitch-black tunnels which strikes fear into the most hardened of men. A sinister black mass has been seen rising up in front of visitors and blocking them from an early exit. Demonic voices and people have been grabbed by unseen hands. But who are these entities that reside in this dark, foreboding place?
No stranger to Fort Paull is paranormal investigator Jenny Bryant, a woman who has experienced many strange occurrences that she considers paranormal.
Things that's happened here has been really terrifying. We've had one point where there was about 6 or 7 of us in this room, and a big black mass formed in the doorway. We literally had to walk through that black mass to get out of the room. It wouldn't shift no matter what we did. In the King Henry's tunnel, at one point we heard a noise. We heard like a shuffling noise. When we looked down the corridor, a black mass formed coming up from the ground, and it actually ran at us and we all fell backwards. So there were about 6 or 7 of us that witnessed that. It's just an amazing place. Obviously people have seen spirits, as in like army soldiers, airmen, so I'm assuming it's probably them that we're seeing in these tunnels and in these vault areas. In the Blackburn Beverley, we've heard footsteps, we've seen shadows moving about. One of the other team actually witnessed a pair of legs walking up the gangway towards the plane, which was a bit strange. We've also had people being grabbed and touched in there, so it's a very interesting place. In the train area, at one point we was walking over to the train, and there was a lady figure actually looking out of the window as we walked towards it. There was nobody in there. We went in, absolutely no team, no public, so something else we couldn't explain. The best places for paranormal activity tonight, I would actually say, is this area here, the vault area, the Beverley Plain, the train area as well. When the darkness falls, it's pretty scary. I think you're in for an interesting night.
Our ever-present skeptic Glenn Hunt was on hand to gently remind me to calm down when things get a little scary. With so many ghostly sightings in different buildings and modes of transport, I was keen to get his thoughts on our 2-part investigation.
Glenn, great location, fantastic history, 2 investigations, 1 above ground, 1 below. What do you think to the place?
Well, already it's quite atmospheric, isn't it? The whole site lends itself to the unusual, the unexplained, and it's almost like dressed for the occasion, isn't it, I suppose? So already your mind's thinking, well, this looks like a warplane, so I'm expecting something unusual to happen. There's the caves to go underground in, and when that's dark, your mind's going to play all kinds of tricks on you. So ultimately, is the whole thing going to be a trick of the mind just because it looks the part?
Now, already, you've been on some investigations with us now. You've experienced some things that you can't explain. I mean, the knocking, for instance. I mean, we've already been here earlier on today while we've been setting up and filming. We've already experienced some knocking noises. What do you make to that? It's
clear it's some kind of energy. You know, you can't dismiss the fact that it's happening, and it's not fate. I can honestly say, hand on my heart, that these things do genuinely happen, and they move around the rooms as well, the walls, under the floors, under your own feet as well. There is clearly an energy, but just because we're hearing these noises, it doesn't necessarily mean it has to be paranormal. It could be just some kind of energy that science yet hasn't explored yet, or understood, and it's worthy of some kind of intensive investigation, I suppose.
And this, of course, is going to be a mecca for Eamon, isn't it, with the EVP, because there's so many different sites. And again, already he's picked up on some voices that are coming through. What do you think he's going to experience tonight?
Well, again, there's always the doubts with it being a radio system. Is there any way somehow there could be some kind of radio interference coming in anyway? That's how it works ultimately. But the interesting thing about it is the interaction. Eamon can ask a question, and invariably there's always an appropriate response. How that is happening, again, we'll have to wait and see.
Now, for me, the tunnels are a particular, because you've already mentioned it's a dark, sinister place, but lots of people have reported this sort of dark shadow coming up from the ground, very, very sinister. Stuart's already had something happen to him. He actually had a horrible a voice in his ear, like laughing in his ear. He shot out, wasn't filming at the time. So things are already happening to us. And for me, the tunnelling system, the Henry VIII Fort, is a place that already I'm like, oh gosh, I'm not sure if I want to go down there. But why is it so many people, visitors, people are reporting the same thing time after time?
Well, obviously they're hearing the stories. Maybe again it's a perceptive thing. That's what they're expecting. They're going in. It feels enclosed around you as well, and ultimately you start to think that you're feeling the same thing as well as everybody else perhaps. I'd be quite willing to go in there and see exactly if I felt the same way.
On your own?
Yeah.
Sorry?
Pardon?
Are you going to go on your own down in the tunnels?
Yeah, I think I should give that a go, shouldn't I?
I think you should. Yeah. That would be really great. What about the train as well? Again, the whole thing, and similar to the plane, it's a piece of history, but the train obviously goes back to 1945. There's a lot of history going on there. The ghost of a Victorian lady has been seen. I think, for me, anywhere that has that's really old, you feel instantly, if you sat in there, you feel a bit, I don't know, it's a bit creepy.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that really, because is this Victorian lady said to have died on the train? Was there a carriage? Was there some kind of incident? I can't understand how some kind of ghostly figure can attach itself to something like that when it doesn't have any overall connection. It doesn't make sense to me, unless of course they were on the way to a fancy dress party and they died on the way there.
Or maybe there's a connection with the ground that the train sat on.
Possibly.
Who knows?
We'll have to wait and see.
Overall, what are you going to be looking out for this evening?
Well, Victorian ladies on trains, strange knockings, EVP experiments, you know, that's fine, but unusual, demonic, dark shadows in the, you know, in the underground elements, well, I'd be interested to see if that genuinely happens.
Maybe we need Fred to go in there and summon it up, because if anybody can, he can.
Well, if you believe the stories, you won't need Fred for that.
This unusual and historic site was intriguing us all. We couldn't wait to begin. So with us all assembled, we thought it best to walk around the various exhibits with the lights on.
I love doing investigations on old planes, and we've done a fair few, but this plane was built after the war.
That's right. It was never even in any kind of active service. If anything, it was just used for training missions up and down the Humber. So I can't imagine how it has any connection with anything paranormal, essentially. So.
Well, you say that, that's interesting. The stairs that we've just walked past there,
yeah.
That's where the ghost of an RAF airman has been seen, actually coming down the stairs and stood at the bottom. So there's obviously some sort of connection, and I think there is a very close connection with a gentleman who has had a lot to do with this plane, who passed away a couple of years ago, who may be coming back. You know?
Well, he did a lot of missions abroad in the war, and then when in 1946, when the war was over, he was used as a reserve, and he actually flew this plane up and down the Humber, doing training sessions. So that's, you know, there could be some sort of connection there. So there are people that have worked on this plane that were in the war.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to necessarily been on this plane, but on other planes, and they've been to this fault for various reasons.
And of course there's another floor above this. This particular floor would have been with where the wireless operator would have been, so maybe this is a good place for Eamon to come a little bit later on.
Yeah.
Let's move on, because there's more to see.
All right.
Fantastic train carriage, beautiful. I absolutely love anything like this with history. But the ghost of a Victorian lady's been seen here, just stood right at the very end. Allegedly, Elvis Presley himself would have come into this carriage and sat down and eaten, which I find absolutely fascinating. But who is the Victorian lady? Why is she connected with this train? Of course, it's not a Victorian train.
True, it's a lot more modern than that, but let's not forget, like the airplane over the field, you know, it's out in the elements, it's exposed, it's a bit weathered, you know, you're bound to hear some rattles and creaks and groans as well with both of these things as well. It doesn't necessarily mean anything you hear tonight will be a paranormal event.
What do you make, Fred, to this train?
The Victorian lady, yeah, the rolling stock itself could have come from Victorian times, and plus you had Victorian people here in Victorian times to do with the fort. So it's not just a carriage, it's what used to be here, perhaps.
Yeah, the ground
Yeah.
where we're actually sat on at the moment,
That's right,
which is really
yeah.
interesting. Well, when it goes dark in here, I think this whole train, it's quite cosy now, but it'll take on a completely different feel later on. Come on. Well, here we are in the vaults underground. To me, this is a really creepy place. I do not like it, and I'm not looking forward to having all the lights off in here later on.
It's a bit odd down there.
Yeah, it does.
Well, that's it, underground,
Straight away.
very dark, dismal, damp. You can feel the damp in the air just by moving your arms around in it as well. It's very uncomfortable anyway, isn't it?
Yeah, but what about the demonic presence, that dark shape that's been seen coming out of the ground?
Definitely something here. You can, well, I can feel something here. Not very strong yet, but I think later on when I call it up, it'll get a bit stronger.
And can you get rid of it?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah,
Oh, really?
I wouldn't call it up otherwise.
Fantastic. And why do you think something like this would be here?
A lot of things have probably happened since, I mean, Henry VIII's times. You go back then, paganism, probably a lot of witchcraft around this area, especially near the water. Water is very good for that sort of thing. Very makes it a lot stronger. And also the amount of evil that was done down here, torturing, killing. Soldiers would have, in those days, would have hung, drawn and quartered people down here. Lots going on like that.
Okay.
So
you think that this demonic presence is maybe come from that time period?
I would have thought so, definitely, yeah.
Oh, I don't want to be down here when you do all of that. Come on.
Come on.
With so much ground to cover, we had to split into groups much sooner than usual. So with Glenn, Stuart and Darren in the Blackburn bomber, myself, Carl, Fred and Eamon took the train carriage. With our EVP equipment set up, we were ready to capture any phenomena.
We're here in the train carriage. Eamon, what's been going on EVP?
Well, it's been really active actually. There's been a lot coming through the two-way machine. I went over before to the other building and also got some singular EVPs which have played back, so I'll play them later on. It's been very active on here though, so I think we're going to have a really active night.
Do you want to turn it on now?
Yeah.
Let's see if we can get any communication going. And then Carl's on camera as well. We're just going to do our first sort of vigil in the train. Can you please tell me her name, or if you're listening to me, can you introduce yourself?
Did anyone hear anything then?
No.
Yeah, down the end of the carriage.
Yeah.
Did you hear that?
Yeah. It was like a laugh, like a woman's laugh.
It was separate from the speakers.
What's that? Listening to me, can you introduce yourself? Listening to me, can you introduce yourself? Listening to me, can you introduce yourself? Hello? What did you hear?
It was a laugh. It was as if when you said about the lady, it was like someone.
Oh, really?
It wasn't. It was like a playful.
Yeah, it was a disembodied voice. I mean, it was separate from the actual speakers because I didn't say anything, but I did look down there.
Oh, really? So you were? Why
entirely
didn't I
sure.
hear it?
Yeah. Well, you were probably tuned into the EVPs. Things with Eamon. He's
Yeah.
got his ears all over.
Yeah.
He's got it all, everywhere, hasn't he?
Hello, can you hear my voice?
Is there anybody in this aircraft with us now? Any pilots, any crew that used to operate this aeroplane? If you are here, could you please knock on the frame of this aeroplane? Make a big bang if possible.
If there's a lady here, please can you tap or can you make a noise? Hello? Hello? Can you hear it? Can you
Yeah.
hear it?
Yeah, that's what I heard something.
It's tapping. It's getting louder.
Oh, yeah.
Is this a lady I'm talking to? If it's a lady, please can you tap twice? Yes. Okay. Are you connected to the train? Are you connected to this land? Yes. Oh, 3, 4, yeah. Connected to the land, okay. Were you imprisoned here? No. Does that mean no? Give me one tap for no. Okay, no. So you weren't imprisoned here. Did you work here? One tap for no. Did you work here?
That's coming from here.
Is it?
Or is it?
Did you live here? Did you live here? I don't understand it. So you've got a lady here who's connected to the land, but she didn't work here. She wasn't imprisoned here.
Maybe she. I wonder if anyone died here on a visit. I mean, you got to remember, people have been dying all over the place, haven't they?
Yeah.
So somebody could have come here and died, I guess.
Please come and talk to us. Communicate with us in some way if possible. This could be the calm before the storm.
I want something to happen, you know. I want things to.
What would
go on.
convince you, Glenn?
It's not convincing a need as such. It's finding out the cause of it. I don't deny that events happen and things take place. It's just getting to the actual root of it, really. I couldn't, you know.
Like, there's a cold breeze in here. Oh, the window's open.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, there's a knock, but that could have been anybody's foot just moving gently. Or,
of course.
And sound travels across solid objects quite well, especially in the metal. So, you know, you can't just assume that anything you hear is...
No.
It's when it gets interactive, you know, you could ask a question, ask for 2 knocks, and you get 2 knocks, and you know, why is that happening?
Yeah.
Were you buried here? But is this you who people keep seeing? Yeah, it is. And you're dressed in Victorian clothing, yes?
One.
No.
Just to let you know, as you're asking questions, it's actually on the oscilloscope here. It's actually peaking up. It looks like there's actual answers coming through.
It'd be great to look back at those, won't it?
Yeah.
Brilliant. Hello, can you say your name for me, please? Tell me your name.
What was that? I thought I heard Richie. I could be wrong. That's what I initially thought.
Tapping.
Did you say Richard?
The lady that we were talking to, the lady that's making the tapping noises, is she here? Can you tell me your name?
We'll actually review this the recording.
Did you hear that? I heard that.
I heard that.
That was a...
Actually review this the recording. Review this the recording. Review this the recording. Can you see Paull walking?
Come on, tell me your name. Tell us your name.
Oh, do you know, I've just gone really cold.
Me too. My legs,
Yeah, my legs got really, really cold. Just a blast of cold air coming. Oh, freaking me out. That's freaking me out. That's really freaking me out.
What's freaking you out there?
It just is. It just, I'm going really, really cold. And it's every time we ask him, oh, you're...
That was a cold breath right on the back of my neck.
Hands are absolutely.
And it's coming from over there. There's something, whenever we turn our backs to it, it doesn't like us turning our backs.
Come on then.
Could you shout your name?
If there's someone here, tell us your name.
I can smell perfume.
Is there
Smell
a female
perfume.
down there we could see?
Is it just me? Can you smell it?
Yeah, I can.
Carl, let's see what the smell is. Ever so faint, but I'm sure it's there. Or is it just
Oh,
me?
crumbs, no, that's there.
I smell it.
That's expensive perfume too.
Reminds me of an old one, like Lily of the Valley or something like that.
But it's got more to it than that. It's more of a delicate, isn't it? It's that.
Hello, are you here? This lady, we're really pleased to meet. That was loud. Oh my gosh, it's really loud tapping, Eamon. Wow, it's coming from this seat.
Sit in the seat, darling. Sit in the seat.
Hello? Hello? No, it's moved. It's moved to behind you.
That's that seat there.
Could you respond
Yes.
to the team?
Oh my gosh, it's so loud.
What do you think, Fred?
I don't know. I'm hearing and feeling and seeing everything that Yvette is.
That was
I'm still
really
smelling
strong.
it.
That was really, really strong. That was really strong, and the tapping. There's clearly something here with us. According to the tapping, it's a lady, but according to the EVP, it's a guy as well. And there's a female voice coming through. Do you know? It really freaked me out. I've not heard it as for the first time ever. I really felt that we were talking, or they were really. Every time we asked for something, there were response, weren't they?
Really, it's really active. I mean, the male voice on the EVPs was active, and what I noticed was when you were asking if there was a female on the carriage, you could actually hear, it sounded like a female was trying to break through, but you couldn't quite make out what she was saying, but there's like a female tone to the voice because it quickly changed from a deep male to this light female voice,
right.
But it sounded like it was difficult for her to come through because this male voice was quite still sort of booming on the speakers, but I think when we review it,
Yeah.
we'll be able to see that.
Clarify it, but why is there a very strong male presence here? What is his connection? No one's reported seeing anything here.
Yeah.
There's only a female, so I'm intrigued to find out who this male is.
You've got to remember also, you know, a lot of the people who've been here have been, you know, other ghost groups, and they just may not have been at the same time as this male entity has been here. So just because someone's not seen him doesn't mean he's not here.
Yeah.
I mean, we haven't seen him, but then we haven't seen the female yet.
The other thing is, it could be, this strong male voice could be an entity that's throughout the whole of the building, or just coming through the ether, and is not connected to the building at all.
It
Could
might
be
not
anything.
specifically be something that's in the carriage, it could be something that's just come over.
Yeah.
So again, it's, you know, I'm quite open with that, to be honest.
But that's the thing, as you were saying earlier, Fred, that it could be, it's the area. I mean, don't forget, we've got hundreds of years of history.
We've got 500 years of history here, going back to Henry VIII. You've got the Napoleonic Wars. You've got everything going on here. So it could be anything. We've just got to try and find out what.
Time to swap. I was hopeful that Stuart, Darren and Glenn would encounter more of the phenomena we had just experienced. Now it was our turn on the massive cargo plane, and we were hopeful that we would see at least one of the spirits that is said to haunt.
Hello? Hello there?
What was that?
What was it?
I can't even use the torch, so...
What did you hear?
It was like just a tapping sound, a click, or something dropping, or...
Hello? We spoke to you earlier on. Do you remember me?
That's in his nose. Although that's the back of the plane, isn't it?
Hello there, how are you?
That's where we used to drop the people out on parachutes, out the back.
That's coming from the top.
Can you get up? Are you talking to me?
Let's go up the stairs, shall we?
Oh yeah.
I love it so much.
I can still hear it. It's still going.
Is it?
Keep going.
I haven't got a torch here, so...
They're absolutely icy cold.
Is that noticeably just dropped that way, or is it?
Like, I don't know, I walk down here and I don't like this end of the train too much.
Okay, let's try down here for a while. It is, isn't it?
It's really cold down here.
It's
Oh
funny
yeah,
'cause
it is.
at the
Yeah,
top, at the
noticeably
top end,
cold.
the door's
Yeah.
open.
Yeah, but this end is totally sealed.
Is there coats in here or something?
It's like, I can't feel a draft. There's no draft,
There isn't any draft.
it doesn't even feel cold with my hands, it's just this weird sort of
Well-
inside cold sort of.
Windows dropped from 6 Celsius to 5.1 now,
Yeah?
4.9.
There is definitely something trying to draw the energy out of the air here.
Draw the heat out.
4.7.
Just be careful. Mind your head.
Oh, it's a moth.
Can you see, Carl?
Yeah, sorry, mate. I've got the. Yeah.
The only thing is that's sealed off. It was coming from down there.
And that's the bit where the pilot goes, and you can't get in there. Look, it's inside there.
Hello?
There was some tapping then.
Hello?
That was not as loud.
I was just about to absolutely poo my pants because I couldn't work out what that was.
They're ready to jump out, aren't they?
Hello?
Of course, it's great telly. Look at the back of your head.
Sorry. Hello there? This is the wire, is it, that they would have held on to when they were jumping out? Hello, if you can hear my voice, can you tap again? Did you used to pilot this plane? You did? 2 for yes, 1 for no. Did you pilot the plane? Did you pilot the plane? No.
No.
Did you fly in the plane?
Yes.
Was that a yes?
Yes.
Yes.
2.
So you flew in the plane. Do you have happy memories of this plane? Yes.
Coming from
4.4, 4.3, 4.2. I'm targeting the window.
Wow.
4 Celsius.
3.
Right, it's dropping. Why is it dropping?
That's just 3.8 now.
Yeah.
3.7. 3.5. Something is dragging the energy out of this place. Thank you. Come on. Talk to us then. If you've got all this energy, move something, tap something, throw something at us.
That's getting to the point where it's freezing.
Yeah.
Well, not just yet, but it's getting there.
Below 3 Celsius
2.9.
now.
That's amazing.
2.7.
That is a short space of time, isn't
It
it?
is.
Were you in your 30s? Were you in your 40s? Yeah.
Here it is.
Yeah, 40s.
The knocks are weird because they're coming from different areas,
It's hard to locate. It is hard to
Yeah.
locate.
but they're different strengths.
Yeah, they are. Some
Almost
really
like it's
strong.
different people.
You see, it was stronger downstairs to what it is up
Yeah,
here.
I thought it was up here, and clearly it's not.
No, I think it was up. It sounds like more like it would have been downstairs.
It was
to be
like
honest.
that back bit downstairs that opened up to let things
What?
out.
What? What?
There's no one else in here, is there? That just sounded like somebody was coming up the stairs.
Hello? Is anyone down there?
Listen. There's somebody down there. There's got to be somebody down there.
Be careful.
Just hold on to that for a minute, let me get down.
Be careful, be careful.
Got it? Let's give it a quick knock. Hello? Right, there's no one down there. It was up the far end anyway.
Down here, it was up here, wasn't it?
It was further up here. No, it was, the knocks were the other end.
Yeah.
I heard something up here, like somebody was in there. No, it's not obviously any of these guys.
Can you make a noise with your voice, please?
That's right behind me.
Hello?
Is that another section up there?
Yeah, it's really loud. Keep still. Hello?
Sorry, I'm just turning around.
Hello? So it's louder down here.
Yeah. Maybe the acoustics
Like
are.
the other end to me down there, doesn't it? To you?
Great.
Yeah.
The back of this opens wide up like that, wide open.
Listen.
It's down there.
I'm hearing it from over there.
No, it's behind you.
I.
It's as clear as anything.
Maybe it's acoustics.
No, it's not. It's there.
See, did you hear that? That was over there then.
What was that? I thought it was one of you.
Like a rustling sound.
No, it's far down. So that was me moving then, but if you just listen down there. It's back. Closer to us. Struggling to put my
There's nothing blowing in the wind, is there? Because that's a lot.
It's not really.
It's not. No,
windy
it's not.
outside.
No.
From
Really, that
what was it
should-
before? It was about 6 Celsius.
It should
Yeah.
be
Not a minute ago.
6.5 or
Well,
something like that.
when we started on the window up there, it was 8, and that's just so 3 windows up where we were sat, facing exactly the same direction. That was 8, and we're now on 2.3.
Yeah.
2.2.
And that is accurate.
Yeah,
it
it's
is.
just measuring the temperature in the exact same spot. 2.1. 2.
If you can
What?
if you can show where I'm pointing the laser at, Stuart.
What
Wow.
What was that?
What was that?
That was a big knock on the roof.
Is that what you've been building your energy up for? Thank you very much for that.
Okay, and it's starting to get warmer again.
Yeah. Oh, look at this. Stuart, look at
Come
this.
here.
It's bouncing up.
Right,
It's
again.
just gone back down.
Can we have another knock, please?
It's as if it drained all the energy, did a knock, and then it let it go. Thank you for that knock.
Crap, look at it. I'm getting chills.
This is brilliant.
That's freezing cold.
Not quite, but it's getting there.
It is getting there.
1.
Okay.
It needs to get to 0.0.
This is drained from 8 degrees.
Yeah. Come on, then.
No way.
Let's see it get down to freezing point.
It's not freezing outside, is it?
No, it's not.
By any, it's manageable to walk round.
Right, it's
0.3.
going to get to the point where
Come on. Let's,
you could freeze water
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
There you
Wow.
go. We're now
that window's
onto the
frozen.
minus stage now of frozen. And it's at 0.
Right. Do you know what I need to do?
Yeah.
I need to go outside
Yeah.
in real time
Yeah.
and just measure the air temperature on the other side of that window.
Yep, sure, go on.
Yeah.
then.
Stay here.
Follow you, Stuart. Let's
Yeah.
do this relatively quick.
I just realised I have to stay here on my own now.
Yeah, well,
You'll be fine.
we'll be right next to you outside.
Do you mean us home? 2 for yes, 1 for no. Are you happy? Are you a man? Gentleman?
My camera broken.
Are you a gentleman?
What was that?
There's that. It was.
Hello? Are you here?
Show yourself to us if you can. Come and introduce yourself to us. My name's Yvette.
My name's Carl.
My name's Eamon.
And I'm Fred.
And we're very pleased to meet you, and we're glad that you're happy. I hope you don't mind us being here.
There was a random knock then.
Yeah, I heard that.
that your weight?
I'm not moving at all. What was that?
That was over there again.
Let's go down the other end.
Yeah.
You can't go down. You have to go down this way, sweetie. It ends there.
With Glenn exhausting all possibilities for the temperature drop phenomena, the outside proved considerably higher than the carriage. As every paranormal investigator and scientist knows, a drop of more than 2 degrees in a short space of time is considered highly significant, and in this case, completely unexplained. With still so much more to investigate underneath our feet, I decided to do one last room, and who better to take with me but my hubby.
It's just 2 of us.
Yeah.
Going into, well, they got a display of a dentist's bit in here.
Okay.
It's horrible.
Oh.
I went there earlier to do some GVs, and it's a weird place.
Has that been already?
Is that not just us?
No.
I wonder sometimes whether this tapping just follows us around for the sake of it.
Oh, I don't like that. Oh, how creepy. Oh, that's horrible.
What's the matter? Where are you? Where are you? Oh, sweetie, where are you? Where are you? What's the matter? What's the matter? Ow, what's the matter? Darling, what's the matter? What's the matter?
Somebody just whispered in my ear.
Oh, are you okay? You've hurt yourself.
I felt something touch my head and then I heard something whisper. Oh, I've just hit my arm as well.
Oh, come here, sweetie. Sweetie, come here. You okay?
Yeah, turn it off now. Ow. Although the experience shook me to the core and left me a little bruised, I knew I had to continue and to places that were terrifying. Below ground was not a prospect any of us relished. This place was alarming. You never knew when something was going to happen, and when it did, you'd never forget it.
Well, it's been really active actually.
What was that?
Now it's moved. It's moved to behind you. Listen to me, can you introduce yourself?
They're absolutely icy cold. There is definitely something trying to draw the energy out of the air here.
Did anyone hear anything last year?
4.4, 4.3, 4.2. I'm targeting the window.
I wonder if anyone died here on a visit.
3.5? Something is dragging the energy out of this place.
And it's at 0.
Tell me your name. Oh, do you know, I've just gone really cold.
Me too, my legs.
Yeah, my legs got really, really cold. Just a blast of cold air coming. Oh, it's freaking me out. That's freaking me out. That's really freaking me out. I can smell perfume. Every time we ask him, oh, you all right?
Cold breath right in the back of my head then.
I do not like this room one bit.
Oh, that's horrible.
What's the matter? Where are you? Where are you? Oh, sweetie, where are you? Where are you? What's the matter? What's the matter? Ow, what's the matter? Darling, what's the matter? What's the matter?
Somebody just whispered in my ear.
Oh, are you okay? You've hurt yourself. I felt
something
okay?
touch my head and then I heard something whisper. Oh, I've just hit my arm as well.
Oh, come here, sweetie. Sweetie, come here. You okay?
Yeah, turn it off now. We all knew we had to continue and to go to places none of us wanted to go. Beneath the ground was next to be investigated. None of us had any idea what was in store. Were we brave enough?
I've got this horrible feeling something's going to happen. I've got a really bad feeling about this.
Whoa.
What?
I'm panicking. Crying out loud.
I didn't want to come down here in the first place. I really didn't.
I am so freaked out.
What? Ah!
Okay, I'm really freaked out.
The switch had actually turned itself off.
Hey!
Coming in here, so I want to call it up.
You're on your own, pal. I'm off.
I don't like it, I'm off.
I gave it legs and ran.
I want to cry. Didn't like it.
Until next time, sleep tight.
Leave a message as you go. Find the moment we're alone.
Really bad feeling about it.
I didn't want to come down here.
I want to cry.
I really don't like it.
I'm off.
Didn't like it.
This is the second part of our investigation of Fort Paull in Kingston upon Hull, a huge fort that was commissioned by King Henry VIII. During the last investigation, we spent the night on board an old carrier plane and an old train carriage with some fantastic, if not terrifying, results.
Well, it's been really active actually.
What was that?
No, it's moved. It's moved to behind you. Wait to me. Can you introduce yourself?
They're absolutely icy cold. There is definitely something trying to draw the energy out of the air here. Did anyone hear anything, Master?
4.4, 4.3, 4.2. I'm targeting the window.
I wonder if anyone died here on a visit.
3.5? Something is dragging the energy out of this place.
Just tell me your name. Oh, do you know, I've just gone really cold.
Me too, my legs.
Yeah, my legs got really, really cold. Just a blast of cold air coming. Oh my, freaking me out. That's freaking me out. That's really freaking me out. I can smell perfume. Every time we ask him, oh, you all right?
Cold breath right in the back of my head then. I do not like this room one bit.
Oh, that's horrible.
What's the matter? Where are you? Where are you? Sweetie, where are you? Where are you? What's the matter? What's the matter? What's the matter? Darling, what's the matter? What's the matter?
Somebody just whispered in my ear.
Oh, are you okay? You've hurt yourself. You've hurt yourself.
I felt something
okay?
touch my head and then I heard something whisper. Oh, I've just hurt my arm as well.
Oh, come here, sweetie, sweetie. Sweetie. Sweetie, 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 come here. You okay?
Yeah, turn it off now.
Tonight we go underground into the fort's warren of pitch-black tunnels that would have housed prisoners to ammunition. We had already experienced so much, it's no wonder we were all incredibly wary about tonight's vigils. We split up straight away, Carl going it alone in one of the many exhibition rooms, Glenn, Darren, Eamon and myself in the lower tunnels, and Stuart and Fred were the first to delve into the long, dark Henry VIII fort.
Turn this light on. Torch.
Yeah, well, leave it on, Fred, to see where you're going.
Okay.
Right, watch where you're going there. What's the name of this area we're going into again, Fred? It's what?
This is one of the older areas in here. It's the. This goes back to dates back to Henry VIII.
Fred.
Yeah. What's that?
I've just heard a bang. Coming from the end. I know our voice.
There was no footsteps, was it?
No. Fred, this is where. Hang on a minute. I've got to watch what I'm doing now.
This is where. This is the same spot.
What's that noise?
I don't know. This is the same spot I heard that laughter. And down there is where I saw something walking across.
What is that? As I'm outside here, I can hear movement in there, and I know no one's in there. It's a dead end once you get in. So if there is anyone in there, I'm going to bump right into them. The site is secured. So you see I'm on the bottom floor. That was coming from here. Hello? Is anyone here? Is anyone here? Oh, crying out loud. There's dummies. There's bars. It's actually quite a... It's a horrible room, but... The reason is because I thought I heard chains. What's that? No, that's nothing. If you are here, can you make a sound? Right, the camera moving away. I can't see because it's actually pitch black. Can you touch me? Right, that was an error again. Oh, God. That's moving. That's definitely moving. There is no one in this room, there's just me. That's moving. I don't want to take the camera off that moving until it stops moving. I'm going to come by the door so you can see no one's coming out or going in. Hello? That has just freaked me out completely.
I don't like it. Why am I so jumpy?
Well, you had a wobble, haven't you?
Yeah. I've got a really bad feeling about it. Oh, stop.
So it's like a...
that's just nice and creepy, isn't it?
Yeah,
Isn't it?
there's loads of creepy stuff down here.
Who fashions these things?
They manage them, yeah.
What was it Fred said about could have gone on down here? Because it was part of the fort, was it, or something?
Whoa.
What?
Whoa.
What?
Oh, just a... No, it was a noise like a big splodge. It's like a big splodge of something next to me.
What?
Right, there's no water there, is there? No. It was like a big gloop of something just went like that, right there, right next to me. And that's bone dry.
So it was the sound of water falling like down a pipe or something?
No, it was the sound of like a big blob of something just splatting somewhere. Right. I just thought I'd turn my torch on because it's pitch black down here without the torch, and I'd just see a big wet splodge, but there is absolutely nothing there at all.
What about next to it, just beyond the stone ridge?
Was that where?
No?
Where? Just there, where you were saying, is it wet there, or was that just...
No.
No?
Mm-hmm. It felt like it was right against my shoulder, and I was stood about here.
If you can hear my voice, can you make a noise, please? I'm calling out to any people that might be here, that can see us and hear us. Can you make a noise to let us know that you're here? Were you imprisoned here? Can you touch one of us? Do we not behind you, Darren?
Is it tapping?
I did hear something like a big tap or a drop or something.
Yeah, it was like some movement behind you.
Oh, great, and I'm just stood here with pitch black behind me.
Do you want to turn around? Should we go in?
Yeah.
I'll just turn the light at the top. Okay. That's full infrared, but to us it's still pitch black. If you want to talk to us, we'd love to hear you.
Are you here?
While we're waiting for
There
you.
again.
I am a little scared, I've got to admit.
Oh, God.
I know. These things are all around and they're just... Yeah.
That's just going to play tricks with your mind.
Yeah,
so try and ignore that, because
know.
it's just not, you know, it's just...
Oh, yeah, just ignore that. That's great. That's just really great. Oh.
There's rattling or banging or something going on. Hello? We've got to remember our voice thread is echoing. Can't see a thing. Right, just put your torch on us. I can't see anything here. Right. I'm panicking. Oh, don't panic, Stu. Okay. This is where something walked from there all the way across here, and that was then when I gave it legs and ran. I've never moved so fast in my life than when I saw Carl.
What's that?
Hello?
Is anybody there?
This is what I'm talking about, Fred. I didn't want to come down here in the first place. I really didn't.
There's a lot of things happening down here.
There's too much stuff going on up here.
Is anybody there? It's not one of the crew, is it?
There's no... Fred, there's only us here.
Is anybody there? If there's anybody there, let yourself be known. Do something.
Let me just... You keep talking. Here we go. Right, stay there, Fred. Hang on. Right, get up here with the camera. Just I can't see a thing.
Can't get up. Hang on.
Hello? Right, mate. Get to the top here a second.
Can you see anything?
No, I can't see anything. I can't.
Right, hang on.
That's the outside world there.
Crying out loud. Hello? Right, I'm just going to check this is the way out. And now, no one is out here. So that means if there is somebody physical, they have to be inside here. They're not in there, as we've already worked out. I know there's not physically because everyone's accounted for. Oh. Hello? What? Ah! I've got to go to it, I've got to go to it, I've got to go to it. That was in here. There's nothing in there. It's barred. You can't even get in this door. There's bangs from there. Is that you? Okay, I'm really freaked out. Crying out loud! Where's that coming from? It can't be coming from there. It can't be coming from here either. Where the hell? Hello? If you are here, can you make another sound? Wherever I am, the noise seems to come from somewhere else. I know I'm the only one in here.
Can you throw something? You hearing tapping?
I just wasn't sure if it was Darren's feet when he was shuffling.
I'm not
I can
shuffling.
hear a very faint tapping.
My feet are firmly on the ground, I haven't moved.
You hear it? Can you hear it?
Yeah, but you know how it feels damp down here? Maybe there just could be just
No, that's...
a drip of something somewhere.
You say there's no pipes down here?
Yeah, but it could be just coming through the ceiling, couldn't it?
Well, brickwork, do you mean? Like cooling down or something? I don't know.
Well, just water leaking through somehow.
Yeah, but that was a dripping. That was a different sound. Hello?
Oh.
I got it that.
Yeah?
Yeah, in here.
That's horrendous.
It is.
Who's up here banging? That's downstairs.
Is anybody here? Let's go back down there. I'm going to call out something.
What are you calling out for? Brad?
Well, I'm going to try and call something up.
Like what?
Something you may have seen earlier
Like
on.
you are. Just ask out instead, Fred, if you wouldn't mind. Alright. Whoa! Hey!
Is that up there again?
No, that was downstairs coming from that cabinet, Fred. But that bolt, it was definitely coming from there. Is it? Something was banging on that cabinet.
Is anybody here?
What are you going to do to us? What are you doing?
What cavity had no Santanas?
Fred, no, Fred, no, Fred, don't be bringing all that crap up, leave it. I'm not, no, stop, no.
There's something in here, so I want to call it up.
I don't want to be any part of it, Fred, if you're calling that stuff up, because stuff's already happening now.
Yeah, I know.
No, don't bother. Fred, forget it.
That's what we need to happen.
Fred, it's already happening.
But I can get rid of it.
We don't need...
What cavity has no Santanas?
Hang on, whoa, Fred.
There's someone you come forward. Come forward and see us.
Fred, no, stop it. I've just heard some kind of whistle or some description.
That's good, because that's the energy.
That's the energy, I know. That's something going on.
No,
Fred. You're on your... Forget it, mate, I'm going.
Come forward to us.
On my own. You're on your own, pal. I'm off. I'm off. He can summon up all he likes. No, I'm going.
I am so freaked out. Can you make yourself known to me? Can you show yourself to me? What is this depicting behind me? There's nothing gruesome. Oh, it's something gruesome. Oh, somebody being burnt at the stake. If you are here, can you... The acoustics in here are weird. Whoa! There's footsteps and laughter. And that was over here. See, this is where I heard the bang, the first bang. In here, and now I've heard laughter. The thing is, these are just depicting parts of history that those things necessarily wouldn't have actually happened here. Well, you wouldn't have had a nice sofa in there, would you? Are you here? Can you make that laughing sound? See, I can hear footsteps right behind me. Right behind me. Listen. That's right there. It's like I can sense here. And the trouble is, I know there's a lady in a dress there, but it's like somebody in that kind of dress is walking around. You get the movement of the cloth. If you're here, can you talk to me? I really don't like it. I know I keep saying this when I'm on my own. Hello?
Can you see me in the doorway? Can you show us this black mist around me?
What was that? What was that?
I heard a...
Could that have been a bird?
Could have been.
It's like a squeaking noise or
Yeah.
something, yeah? I got that as well.
Could you try and do something around me?
Yeah, I heard that too. Yeah.
Go.
Oh.
Just a drop, wasn't it? Like
What's
a...
actually done? Is this a... Yeah, it's a dead end.
It is a dead end with another one of those creepy tableaus in it.
In my experience, did you hear that as well?
No.
It's a tapping noise. When we start to leave, as I'm saying it now, I'm feeling really cold, I'm feeling frightened. As we leave, I've got this horrible feeling something's going to happen.
Okay.
I'm sorry to say it, but probably nothing will happen. I've just got this horrible wave of fear just come over me.
Shall we,
Yeah.
go on then?
Yeah.
The only way out is back through where we came and back up the stairs again.
Past the hangman.
No.
Just to let you guys know as well, I've left the EVP recording upstairs, so
We've got to go back that
we
way.
might have had responses.
Okay, let's go. I'm scared. Yeah.
Okay.
You see me?
Yeah.
Fred!
Come forward.
Fred!
Stuart, just hang around, let's find out what it is.
No, you can hear something's banging upstairs, and I'm having no part of it. I'm off. No, you're on your own. I'm going. No.
I've got no sound on.
I don't care. You stay down here all you like. I'm going.
Stuart,
It's gone dark. It's gone dark down here very quickly. There's a groan. I don't like it. I'm off because I actually fear that something nasty is going to happen, and I need to get out. I really do need to get out. I can't. I would run, but I'm more afraid of falling over. That is freaky.
The tunnels were certainly giving us plenty to think about. They had the most sinister atmosphere and was a place that no one was keen to stay in for long. We got the feeling that we were being watched, but by who? Hopefully Eamon would have some answers, as he'd been monitoring for EVP throughout tonight's investigation.
So this is where we went downstairs before. You can hear us walking.
Is there a microphone somewhere? Is it get up on the laptop?
Just on here.
Right.
So let's go further in. Oh. It's a yes. I don't know if we asked a question or not. We're going to have to review this.
Yeah.
So this sounds like Darren talking here. Yes again.
Yes.
It's just actually where you speak there, Darren.
Yeah.
I don't know what you asked here. Let's just amplify that. You asked a question, but it's muffled because it's quite far away. But we get a loud yes on this up here. So we'll have to try and get that together with the camera and try and find out what you actually asked, because we've got a yes there.
Yes.
We were able to find the footage that links directly to this EVP. Darren asks a question, and unbeknownst to us, we get an answer.
Got a yes there.
If you want to talk to us, we'd love to hear you.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we'll have to see what that was about. Got a yes there.
If you want to talk to us, we'd love to hear you.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we'll have to see what that was about. Got a yes there.
If you want to talk to us, we'd love to hear you.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we'll have to see what that was about.
There's something here, and nobody was saying anything.
Yeah.
I think this is where Yvette actually asks if somebody could talk, and then at this waveform here, which Glenn's mentioned. That's not us. I mean, that we stayed quiet at this point.
It's the same bum.
Can you tell me your name?
Oh, here we go.
What's that?
What the
What is
on
that?
earth is that?
That
is unbelievable.
Can you hear that again?
That is whatever's with us now.
What on earth is that? In fact, just before that starts, it sounds like the voice comes in at this point, just before that. Just before that becomes a voice.
It's not because, right, ultimately, all the waveforms here on this display, these are the audible inputs into the microphone of the laptop. Now, we all had our mouths shut when this appeared, so the microphone was picking something up. So this is the sound it was picking up. Let's hear it again.
That is unbelievable.
Just wait, before you play it, just hold on a minute.
Just do that again.
Oh, okay.
So this is the waveform Glenn means, and this is after Yvette asked the question
Let's
here.
play the question and then let's just listen to it.
So this whole event here.
Can you tell me your name?
That is freaky.
Do you know?
I don't even know what that is.
I want to
don't know what
cry.
that sound is.
I want to cry. I want to cry, because to me that it's
like
it sent chills right.
It's unbelievable.
I can't even.
That appeared before our very eyes.
Yeah, we
And
actually saw that.
We saw that recording onto the software. So and it's a sound that the microphone's picking up, yet none of us heard at the time.
Doesn't make any sense.
It's just so freaky. That's such a freaky noise to me. Oh my!
What does it sound like backwards?
Oh, that's a good point. No, it's the same. It's pretty much it.
Tell me your name, and it comes out with that.
That right in front of our eyes as well, and you just sort of wonder where.
Onwards and upwards.
Yeah.
Come on, let's see what else we can get.
There was a cut in power then, and we all believed that the battery had just drained. There's about, as you can see, well, viewers can't, but we can see 257 minutes on that battery, yeah? Top left.
Yeah.
Right, and the camera just died completely, and I thought it just drained the battery, but the switch had actually turned itself off. And I haven't touched that switch at all.
So something has turned the switch off.
Something
on the
has
camera.
physically moved the switch.
Take a picture of the display. That's how much battery power there is, and the camera switched itself off.
Because I thought that I'd just try the rocker switch just to see, and I've just literally turned it back on. And that switch, which you ain't going to be able to see, viewers, I'm afraid, but there's a switch there that's a rocker switch that is impossible to turn itself off. You have to fully move it with your thumb.
Right, come on.
We now knew that we were not alone. Somehow hearing these vocal anomalies made our job even scarier. Carl, Stewart and myself went back to the exhibition areas, and Glenn, Darren and Eamon went down into King Henry VIII's fort. We were always hoping for more paranormal phenomena.
Oh, that's a great light, that, Yvette.
I know. Well,
Blinding me. It's all of a half of a candle, what job that, isn't it? There's nothing on it.
I'm just warning you now. I'm very, very jumpy.
Right, it was when I was on the stairs, I heard the first rustling sound, and it was from here.
Okay. Let me get in there then. Now, I've not been in here now. This is all new territory for me. Do you want my torch?
No, I want something.
Hang on. Yeah. Yeah, Yvette.
Oh,
Yvette.
I don't want. Oh.
Put that pile of crap away
Okay.
and use that.
What's that? What's that? Okay. Oh, it's just a.
Oh, it's a mannequin or something, isn't it?
Oh, this is
Okay.
nice.
Oh, I'm sorry, I've really.
What? So these would have been prison cells, I reckon.
They probably would have been cells of some sort. This is what was moving. As you can see from this, no one can get in and out, and I'm standing by the door there, and literally I've done a full pan of this, and I'm stood by the door, and this does that. While I'm in this room, and I pan back to it, and it just starts moving because I heard the noise.
What?
No, and if you tell me with this, if anyone was doing it, where the can they go?
Can you feel that draft?
There is a draft. I don't know where that's coming from, or if
It's coming from up above.
Oh, this is. Was that someone's stomach?
No.
Nobody's stomach?
No.
That grumbling noise?
I didn't hear it. I just breathed out to see which way the air would go, the breath. And there is a definite breeze coming from
That wasn't the same noise, it was like a noise. I thought it was somebody's stomach.
If there's anybody here who can hear us, Please make a knocking sound twice, please.
Hello? Hello, if you can hear me, can you say hello? You alright?
Yeah, I don't know. Something in a spider or something. It wasn't like something touched me.
Can you say hello? Can you make a noise?
There's movement. I've just heard movement.
Where?
Coming from the way we've just come in now. From just down there.
Go on, Carl, you go first. Do you want me to torch?
No, thanks.
Slight movement through here. I don't know what's through there, so I'll have a look. Well, I don't know. It was just coming from this direction.
This is where I heard the growling sound and so I heard some movement in there as well. The weird thing is that here, look, there's nothing. This is where I heard the. You can't get in.
That's really weird.
What's in there?
Weird.
Oh, that's
Weird,
quite
weird.
freaky stuff to look at. Look at that. Everywhere you go, there's another mannequin. That looks completely out of place.
But I also heard it was like you see where if that mannequin moved, the fabric and the dress, it was like that. It was
Oh,
that,
right.
yeah. And that's why I sort of stuck here for a little bit because it was scary.
It's gone deadly silent, hasn't it?
No, it hasn't. Something. What? Like a shuffling sound down there. Did anyone else hear that?
I thought it was you.
No, I was perfectly still. I only moved after I heard it.
You got a camera?
Yeah. I can't see where I am. It's that dark in here.
What is it, Eamon? What did you think you... See, what I heard was, it was sort of like a tap, but you heard the shuffle. I didn't hear the shuffle, but I did hear something, because I turned around at the same time as you and looked down here.
I heard it was like a shuffle coming from downstairs.
I wasn't sure if that was, like Glenn said, I wasn't sure if that was one of us, or... Could you try to repeat that, please?
Hello? Can you hear me? If you can you make a noise? Can you throw something?
Through there.
I don't like it because it's like corridors.
This, you know. This area feels completely different to anywhere else I've been.
Where are you going, Carl?
Where is he?
Hello? Carl?
All right, it's just a dead end. It's just a dead end.
What's in there?
Oh, burning the witch. That's nice.
Okay.
It's like he borrows my friend's stuff.
Quiet. Can you make a noise? If there's anybody here that can see us or hear us, please can you make yourself known? Can you hear us?
Turn this off.
Can you see us?
I don't I really don't like it now.
No. Right, okay, Carl, you call out.
Okay. Is there anyone here? Move one of these, whatever those bags on the floor.
Yeah, for
Mice.
it's rat poison. What's through that door there? Is that a door, Cal?
It's not a door, I think it's just a...
Yeah.
Right, okay.
Can you copy us? My heart is in my mouth. I'm so...
If the entity that was here wants to play silly buggers, please do.
It's a completely different environment now than being on the aeroplane.
Yeah.
Being over there.
Yeah.
Being over here seems completely different now.
Yeah. Well, it is.
It's like we're on a completely different location.
Yeah.
Different time, different everything.
Everything.
Yeah.
Do you want us to stay? You pick something up then.
That was a squeak, but I think it was like an animal outside.
An owl.
Yeah.
Would you like us to leave? Really quiet here. Could you try to make a noise for us if there is anything as reported is here?
I wonder if we should head back downstairs.
Yeah.
Come on, please do something.
What's round there, Stu, behind you?
I don't know. Oh! Come on.
Could be the wind.
I've just... No, Carl, I've just seen the arse end of that move.
But you were here.
That wasn't the wind.
But you were here, Carl.
I'm sure I got the back end of that moving. I'm almost positive.
Well, there's no one out here.
But
I know, I know, I've got you guys on camera.
Shh. I couldn't do it.
There was a whistle there.
Yeah, that's what I heard. Can you copy me?
That's me.
Stu, sorry.
That's my son.
Oh, they don't actually. Did you not hear that in there?
No.
See, this was
I didn't, Carl, no, I didn't.
It was like movement.
That door. I can't get over that door.
You did hear it, didn't you?
Well,
you heard it close or open or whatever
I
it was
just
it did.
I heard something and then turned around and the whole thing was swinging.
Well, that's
but
what
Carl was here. It's not like you can...
Yvette, I've got you guys on camera. I know exactly where you were, I could see. And you weren't anywhere near the door.
It was like something's coming in, that's what made me jump. I thought something was coming in.
Can you make a noise, whoever you are?
Do you think
You call
it could be the same thing that touched me on the shoulder?
Maybe.
Because I accused Carl of it. Well, I didn't accuse, I asked him.
If you're here, please scream.
What was that?
What the f*** is that?
Did you hear it?
Yeah.
Tell me what...
There you go.
Didn't like it.
Was that you, Carl, who just made that noise?
That's what we just heard.
I just heard, I went...
Yeah.
Right, okay.
That's what we just
Yeah,
heard.
but that's what we
Right.
both just heard.
Yes.
Did you hear it, Stuart?
I just heard Carl.
No, yeah.
Do it.
We heard
Definitely
it.
a rasp.
Right.
You would have got that on camera, will you?
We must have that.
Probably.
Was that you?
See, this is what really started freaking me out here. I couldn't pinpoint things. I was over there and I was hearing it in there. And I know no one's in. I've just heard something in this room.
Go on, go in.
And that's what's happened to me before. And I'm coming around the corner thinking I'm going to see someone standing here. It's that obvious. Yeah, it's this. Let me just go into this room here and I'll make a noise. And if you stay in here, Stu. Okay. So if someone's standing here.
Yeah.
I won't.
Right, yeah.
Yeah,
that's what you heard. Yeah.
No,
Shuffling.
It's not like someone's trying to hide. It's just like someone's there moving around. You kind of go, that's solid. Hello?
I've just heard talking outside. On it, I've just heard talking outside. Go outside now. I've just heard conversation outside. Near the steps.
There's no one
Right.
here.
I've just heard conversation here.
There's no one here whatsoever. There's absolutely no one there. And everyone's accounted for.
Just have a look at the crew room, Carl. See if anyone stood outside there. Because that's probably what it'll be.
No, there's no one there because everyone's on vigils.
Should we head back and see what they're doing?
I don't want to be here any longer, to be honest with you.
Shall we head back?
I'd prefer to go back. I'll leave you with the camera if you want to stay here.
Feeling.
Yeah, I know.
We heard that, didn't we? That sound. Come on, let's go.
Yeah. There's something down there.
Definitely.
A place that was made by kings and has seen so many battles. We will never forget this marvellous fort. Its ghosts still remain woven into its fabric, only to come out and play for a lucky few.
As we leave, I've got this horrible feeling something's going to happen.
Together. Oh. That's moving. That's definitely moving.
I've got a really bad feeling about this. Oh, stop.
Whoa.
What?
Oh, just a... No. It was a noise like a big splodge. It's like a big splodge of something next to me.
I'm panicking. Don't panic, Stu. Okay. This is where something walked from there all the way across here.
Crying out loud.
You hearing tapping?
I just wasn't sure if it was Darren's feet when he was shuffling.
I'm not shuffling.
I can hear a very faint tapping.
I didn't want to come down here in the first place. I really didn't.
There's a lot of things happen down here.
There's too much stuff going on up here.
I am so freaked out.
You keep talking. Here we go. Right, stay there, Fred.
What?
Oh, yes.
If you want to talk to us, we'd love to hear you.
Yes. Are you here?
So we'll have to see what that was about.
Okay, I'm really freaked out. Crying out loud.
The switch had actually turned itself off. And I haven't touched that switch at all.
So something has turned the switch off.
Something has physically moved the switch.
Whoa! Hey!
Whoa! There's footsteps and laughter.
Stop, no.
There's something in here, so I want to call it up.
I really don't like it. I know I keep saying this when I'm on my own.
Hello?
Joe, I bet you Fred Bat's doing something.
Yeah, I heard that too. Yeah.
Go.
No, Fred. You're on your... Forget it, mate, I'm going.
Come forward to us.
I'm on my own. You're on your own, pal. I'm off.
Where are you going?
I'm off. He can summon up all he likes. No, I'm going.
Okay, let's move. I'm scared. Yeah.
It's gone dark. It's gone dark down here very quickly. There's a groan. I don't like it. I'm off. Because I actually fear there's something nasty's going to happen, and I need to get out. I really do need to get out. I can't.
I'm just warning you now. I'm very, very jumpy.
Right,
I gave it legs and ran. I've never moved so fast in my life than when I saw Carl.
What's that?
Oh, come on. Slight movement through here.
See, I can hear footsteps right behind me. Right behind me. Listen.
I don't like it down here, Mum. I really don't like it down here.
Can you tell me your name?
That is freaky.
Do you know?
I don't even know what that is.
I want to cry.
that sound is.
I want to cry. I want to cry, because to me it's
like
it's sent chills right.
It's unbelievable.
I can't even. Didn't like it.
Until next time, sleep tight.
Leave a message as you go. Find the moment we're alone.
Let's go and investigate.
That is right in the middle of us.
I'm really nervous.
We are literally locked in.
This is getting really creepy now. We're like really, really creepy. Don't do that! I'm Yvette Fielding, and this week I've brought you to the outskirts of Sheffield and to the largest privately owned house in Great Britain. Welcome to Most Haunted and to Wentworth Woodhouse.
Although the house was once the centre of a 19,000-acre estate, it is now set in 250 acres of parkland. The impressive facade of Wentworth Woodhouse extends to over 600 feet. Its courts and buildings cover a full 3 acres and stands a testament to the wealth and opulence of its original owners. Wentworth Woodhouse is formed by the construction of 2 houses from 2 different styles of architecture between 1725 and 1750. The west front of the house was built in the Baroque style, but upon completion the style was growing out of favour, so the owners built the east front in theatrical and opulent Palladian style and was once said to have been the most important and powerful house in the world. Its original owner was Thomas Wentworth, 1st Earl of Strafford, the ill-fated administrator to the equally ill-fated King Charles I. And like his king, Thomas was destined to end his life at the sharp end of the headsman's axe. Upon his execution, the property was passed on to his son William Wentworth, the 2nd Earl, but when he died in 1695 with no issue, he disinherited his eldest male heir, Thomas Wentworth, also known as Lord Raby, in favour of his nephew Thomas Watson, and thus began one of the most enduring and lasting family feuds in English history, lasting for over 5 decades. Since then, it has become many things, including a convalescent home during the war and a college for physical improvement, the Lady Mabel College, until most recently being bought back into private ownership. The paranormal activity that is said to permeate through the very fabric of this building range from the quintessential to the bizarre. The headless ghost of the 1st Earl is said to walk the stairs. Dark shadows appear to the unsuspecting. Children's laughter echo through the long corridors, and unseen hands grab staff and guests alike. But it's the alleged demon dog that roams the ground, which sends fear through those who haven't even entered the property. With all this in mind, I had to bring my team to the magnificent Wentworth Woodhouse for a 2-part investigation.
This pillared room is just one of the splendid 365 rooms that make up Wentworth Woodhouse. Perhaps the most famous haunting occurs on the grand staircase. Thomas Wentworth, 1st Earl of Strafford, makes his presence known in a very classic way. He's headless. strange dark figures, a ghostly monk, children whispering. Also, an operatic voice has been heard when there's nobody present, doors opening and closing on their own, and an even more sinister occurrence, people being grabbed by unseen hands. These are just a few of the ghostly goings-on in the dead of night in this massive mansion. The dark passageways of the cellar are worthy of an investigation purely on their own. The cries of children, heavy footsteps and deep guttural voices right in your face are heard in the dead of night. The ghostly figure of a man has been seen stood stock still. Who is he and why does he haunt?
Scott Jameson was on hand to testify to some of the paranormal occurrences in the building.
I've been here coming up for 11 years now, and there's strange paranormal things. They happen when you're least expecting them. If I'm in the garden, I'll look up and there's almost somebody stood looking at you, almost as if to say, what are you doing? What's going on here? And sometimes there's strange voices that just you catch without anybody else being there. The noises, it's really close-up noises I've heard. Coming down a corridor, there'll be like a no, or something really close that there's no one else there. It's not a distant noise, it's always really up close and personal with me. It's really strange. It's a funny place, when you're least expecting it. It doesn't particularly have an eerie feel all the time, just when you're least expecting it. On the oak staircase, there's been some activity. If you're on the lower steps, above you, you can hear voices and giggling. And then if you go up, they stop, and it's almost as if they've moved down to the lower levels. I've been on my own in the dark. There's one stretch of corridor that I was moving things from one end to the other, and there was like a 15-foot area that you walked through, and for some reason it was like there was 4 or 5 people stood at either side as you walked through, and speaking about it now makes the hairs on the back of my neck go up. It was like a group of people, almost menacing, waiting for you. This building is haunted. Sometimes you can open a door and it's like you've walked into something, and then everyone's like, and it's when you walk back out, it almost continues. So there's that. It's like a constant feeling of all the generations that have ever lived here still pop in and see what's happening. The most scary bits, I think, those two. Down in the cellars, and the further around you get, it gets smaller and darker and narrower. They're the horrible bits, because they're the bits that once you're in, and if anything happens, you get a bit jittery. There's nowhere really to run. The other bit is the bottom of the oak staircase in the mirror. And if you look in the mirror, I've had it happen where there's like a shadowy figure on the staircase behind you. So if I have to go through there, I don't look in the mirror, I walk straight past.
With such a large building and so many ghost stories, what does skeptic Glenn Hunt have to say about Wentworth Woodhouse?
Glenn, here we are in this enormous house, possibly the largest privately owned house in Europe. It's massive and it's full of ghosts.
This is the quintessential manor house, isn't it? I must admit, when I drove up the driveway and saw this imposing building, I thought, oh, hello, let's see where we've got to. There's a story of witches being associated with the area. There's the feuding families, and of course, the original owner of the house is apparently still here as a beheaded man. So straight away, your mind's working overtime, isn't it? Here you are in a stately home in the United Kingdom, and it's full of ghosts and history.
I mean, you've hit upon, you know, the headless ghost. I'm trying to think, I'm sure we must have had a headless ghost in the past before Most Haunted, but to me, things like that, when you get sort of parts of bodies showing and things, really excites me, because I try to understand it and I can't quite get to grips of why only part of a body would show. What does that mean?
It's a historical fact that the Earl of Strafford was beheaded, so I think with that in mind, that's something that people are automatically expecting to see, or at least think they're seeing.
But I believe they are seeing it, and I hope that we do see it. I hope you see it tonight. That would be amazing.
It'd be nice. More importantly, I hope the cameras see it.
Lots of different things are happening and being reported, not just in individual rooms, but throughout the whole building, which actually makes it quite difficult to sort of lock down on a particular place.
Well, the house is the biggest house we've ever investigated. It is absolutely humongous, isn't it? There's 365 rooms, that's one for every day of the year. You know, a small corridor in the night is scary enough, but a long corridor where you definitely can't even see the end of it, what's your mind going to make of that? You turn into a blind panic just because you don't know where you are in the dark, then obviously you're going to be scared anyway, so your mind's open to all kinds of suggestions.
Tonight's investigation, we're going to be looking at the corridors and the rooms above ground, and then our second investigation will lead us down here into the cellar rooms. What do you think is going to happen tonight?
Well, I think we need to be cautious about where we are, really, and we need to think about what is really going on around us rather than what we think is going on around us. I suppose with the history of the place and being caught up in the fact that it's a supposed haunted mansion, that we should be thinking about that, you know, just because a door's creaking down a very long corridor, it might actually be a creaky door down a long corridor. With such a house and such a history, we're all going to be open to suggestion, and I think we really need to fight that, really, and just try and be logical wherever we can be.
I'm going to try.
Good luck.
This is just the most fabulous room. I absolutely love it. And then, to top it off, you've got that. It's amazing, isn't it? You can just imagine the headless ghost coming down the stairs.
This is the stereotypical image, isn't it, of what you'd come to expect in a house like this, a staircase like that. And
but I can imagine Mr. Darcy and a lady in a crinoline coming down that staircase from the ballroom to the carriage outside. Now, they're people that should be around tonight from the days of that happening.
Well, apparently, if you go to the top, there's a balcony at the top. If you go there, you'll hear noises downstairs. And if you stay down here and you're on your own, you'll hear children whispering and running round on the top gallery.
But this is where there's meant to be a headless man?
Yeah.
OK. Just to throw a spanner in the works, why would a headless man be walking down some stairs?
Well, he could be walking throughout the whole of the house, but his spirit is seen on the stairs. Maybe because he loved walking, maybe he loved making entrances. Who knows? Don't look at me that way. No, it's a really good question, actually. I don't understand, you know, none of us will until we die, why these things happen. But they do, allegedly, and lots of people have seen it. Well, who knows? We could see a headless ghost tonight. Come on.
Okay.
There's all these figurines as well. Oh, I've not been up here yet. This is amazing, isn't it?
It's quite the function room, isn't it?
It's fantastic. It's you know, when you watch the movies, the costume dramas, this is it. Yeah. This is fantastic.
Is this a room that is said to be quite haunted as well?
Well, the whole place. There's not, you know, there's only a couple of places that are specific to a typical type of haunting. But, you know, whispering, heavy footsteps, doors opening and closing, dark shapes, everything. So it all happens throughout the whole building.
Well, notice we've got one of Eamon's devices set up in here, so obviously, hopefully, we'll pick something up on this later.
Absolutely. Well, who knows, you know, we could... Actually, one of the phenomena here is hearing operatic singing.
Oh, yeah,
okay.
That's right.
Yeah. So that would be interesting to see if we can get that. Obviously, we've got the lights off in here now because we're getting ready to go straight into our night vision. But the kings and queens that have been here, and Queen Victoria, before she was made Queen Victoria, came here. Yeah, she visited here. This is just amazing. If you just be quiet for a sec.
They always say...
Deathly silent.
Well, they always
isn't
say
it?
walls could speak, so maybe tonight's the night that they will.
It's amazing, I just love it. I've got to do this, and we'll go over that way.
Okay.
I have to do this. Hey, it's got to be done. Very badly. This place excites me from a paranormal point of view because, and I think it's something that Eamon will really like, is the horrible, deep, guttural voices that are actually heard very, very close to the face. And they say very clear words like no or get out.
Right.
And that's been... No, I haven't. The gardener, the head gardener who's lives here has reported that happening to him. And also, right at the very end of the corridor, has also been seen a gentleman, a man, just stood on his own, stopped still, just looking.
It's very claustrophobic down here as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
And, automatically, you feel if the walls are closing in, that obviously it's not going to help the mind, is it? So,
no.
Automatically, you're feeling there's a sense of doom and gloom anyway, I think.
And we're okay now because we've got the lights on, but when all the lights are turned off, it's going to get really, really bad. And the other thing I was thinking about, Fred, was the fact that there is historical evidence to suggest that there was witchcraft done in and around the grounds.
Yeah, a lot of people say witchcraft about lots of places, but this place, I've actually got the 4 witches that were condemned here. Not in the building, in this
the ground,
area.
yeah.
Yeah, in the grounds. So, yeah, I've got all the facts on that.
You see, who is this man? That's what I'm intrigued with. And why are people reporting hearing these voices really close up in your face and invading your body space?
Could be demonic. That's another thing we've got to look for tonight.
Right, well, I think this is going to be amazing. 2-night investigation. I think it's going to be fantastic. We're going to start upstairs. Let's get all those rooms and corridors investigated first, and then down here.
All right.
So let's turn all the lights off and get going.
Great idea, great place.
With the lights off, we started the investigation. Eamon, Darren, Glenn, Greg and Fred went to the library, while Carl, Stuart and myself started in uncharted territory in the upper levels.
Okay,
Ready?
Carl? Yeah, how are you feeling?
I'm really nervous because I've specifically saved myself from not looking round any of the main rooms that we've done pieces to camera in today, so all of this is new to... Hello?
That's here.
Step. It's coming from...
That is very quick.
No, Yvette, that's coming from... It's coming from here.
Hello? How many of you are with us now?
He's moved onto the steps.
5.
Let's go and investigate.
But you think these are rooms that aren't being used? They're not even furnished. Hello, is anyone there?
Did you not hear it again? Like an extra footstep, as if something's following us.
Is anyone there? Is anyone there?
Did you not hear that?
I heard it. I thought it came from there.
I thought I heard a noise coming from that direction.
See, this is the trouble we've got, because you've got Yvette saying one direction and we're saying another.
It was from behind you. That's what I heard. But you're both saying it's down there.
I thought it came from down there, but hang on.
Did you hear it then?
I heard it then.
I did hear it, yes.
Hello?
That's from there. That was from there.
Go on in.
Oh, I'll go in then, shall I?
This is the biggest property I've ever investigated. It's just extraordinary. This is getting really creepy now. I like really creepy.
So if anybody's there, if you can hear me, can you make yourself known, please? Either move something, touch someone, touch me, or come and sit next to me on the sofa. Was that a footstep?
I heard something. I heard a creak.
Something over by the door there. If anybody's here, please let yourself be known. Let us know you're here. If you can, come and sit next to me on the sofa.
I feel as though the energies are just starting to build up now, slowly.
That's the walls.
How
Me?
scared are you nervous? You sound nervous.
On a scale of 1 to 10, it's about 15 at the moment.
I'm
actually
If I had hair, I'd be standing on edge, but it's not. But believe you me, I'm feeling a bit freaked out now.
Let's keep going.
Which way?
Or should we head back?
Yvette, I've got a clue where I am now.
No, they're
I have to admit, I'm a bit confused. If we were in a square, I don't want to walk that way just in case.
Hello?
That's so instant.
I can feel it under my feet. Yes, I can.
It's right under my feet now.
Well, hello to you all. Thank you for doing
It's right
this.
there.
I can feel the vibrations
Under your
under
feet.
my feet, and you're saying you can feel them under your feet.
I
Can you
think
feel it,
let's head back that way.
Which way?
Back that way and round.
I could have sworn I'd just seen a shadow.
That's
Sorry,
me.
I could have sworn I'd just seen a shadow. Don't do that!
I haven't done anything.
Well, you must have done.
I have
You
done
must have
nothing.
moved something by accident.
I have moved nothing. I was literally right behind you, and I've just moved with you.
Yvette, what happened? What happened? What happened?
It was like. What was that noise then?
What did you hear?
Like a cupboard door on carpet. Sworn I've just seen a shadow. Sworn I've just seen a shadow. Sworn I've just seen a shadow. Sorry for screaming. I'm
No,
sorry.
no.
Sorry. It was like a.
Oh, Joe,
Don't leave me. Don't leave me.
Well, what was in there?
Oh, sorry. I'm really freaked.
Oh, it's just shoes and
No, but
socks.
what was that noise then?
I don't know.
I'm really
We would have
freaked.
caught that on camera, Carl, because it was close between me and you. And
Well-
I swore there's a shadow,
Well, let's go through
like
there.
the back of
Well,
something
let's go through there
moving.
now, then. Let's go through there now then and just.
Okay, go on then, Stu.
Well, Carl can see where he's going. He's got the camera. Well, you need to be first
Go
to
on.
capture the action.
Yeah, I'll do that. Yeah.
Come on, is at the end of that far wall. There's something like the back of a shadow, like something moving quickly. Right, should we try and
Show us
make
a
our way?
sign.
Oh, it's under my
hello.
feet.
Oh, that is loud. Wow. Stay on. That is under Yvette's feet. That is under Yvette's feet. Oh, look at that.
It's like it's moving around, isn't it?
Right, come and sit between the two of us so that we can feel you.
There's a tapping underneath this chair. I can hear it. I can hear it tapping directly under it.
Is that you tapping?
It's really faint, but oh, it's gone now.
Where does it go?
Guys, we're going to get lost here now. We're not going to go all the way back.
What's that?
I really don't like it up here now.
Where should we go?
Where on earth are we? Seriously?
We're at one end.
Shh.
What the?
What? Did you hear that?
Yes, that was a whine.
Did you hear that, Carl?
It's in the walls behind you.
It sounds to me like it's coming from the stairs.
I know you're listening to us now.
That is right in the middle of us. Tell me that's not in the middle of us.
It is in the middle of it. I can hear it. And the thing is, this is probably a concrete floor. It says it's just got plastic tiles over it. So that's going to take some banging to make that noise, isn't it? The walls, they're solid. The only place it could come from, door and that wood.
I just heard it. Hello?
Sorry.
Hello? It was definitely this sort of sound. That's exactly kind of it, like somebody was standing behind that door.
When we were walking then?
No, when I turned around and went through the door,
Yeah.
it was like someone was right behind the door.
Can you copy me?
Did you hear that growl that was coming from it then?
We've got to get down to the payment.
Can I just try one last thing?
Yeah, but just hit those
Yes.
knocks. They were the loudest I've ever heard them.
Copy me again.
That's responding.
It is responding.
Ooh.
Let's go and check. How do we get out? Well, we can hear you coming from down there.
Still quite unnerved by our first vigil, I was determined to continue to uncover the mysteries of this great house. Carl and Stuart went back to the top of the oak staircase, and the rest of us continued in the students' quarters.
My name is Stuart. My name's Carl. Oh, so you think, yeah, I'm just trying to figure out where I'm going. No. Quite a lot of good that is.
Listen. I sure is like a laughter. And again, did you hear that?
I did hear that laughter then, loud and clear. Yeah, go on. Right, you can't see where you're going.
You should
I'll have to go first.
What's in there?
Just crap.
Where was the laughter? Hello?
I did hear it. It was loud and clear.
This is the room we're going.
Well, where does it go to?
It's the bedroom.
Oh, okay.
This is one of the only rooms that I've been in here where immediately when we went in on the recce, I felt really weird.
Did you?
And I felt weird coming up here before, trying to remember where it was, and just felt weird walking through the door again. It really just, I don't know.
Do you think it's just because it's so cold though? It's freezing.
Well, I don't know. We've been in cold and warm rooms all day, haven't we?
Although it's
Let's
cold,
call out.
although it's cold in here, look at the condensation on this window,
Yeah.
which means it was hot in here.
Yeah.
Right, you ready?
Yeah.
Should we close the door?
No, leave it open.
Yeah, because we need to run if...
Okay, everybody stand still.
Can I just say what I think it sounded like?
Yeah.
It sounded like kids.
Yeah. Got down there. Careful on the floor.
Yeah.
Hello? Hello?
Right. Right, which door was it then? That door was open because I got a shot of it.
There's no other doors here. There's only that one. There's that door. Hello?
Right, let's just...
If there are children here, can you... We don't really
What did you think the noise was, Carl?
It sounded like a kid laughing.
It did, didn't it? If you're there, if there are children here in this corridor with us now, can you please make that noise again? Can you please laugh? Are you trying to get our attention? I'm walking slowly so that I don't trip up.
Hello? Stand still. If there's anybody here, can you hear
creaking? A whistle. Yeah, heard a whistle loud as day back that way towards the hallway. That's voices there.
You hear that?
Yeah, but is that Carl and Stuart? Is that the other group?
There shouldn't be anywhere near us.
No, they're not up here.
Should we go and find out?
That laughter, Carl.
That's in this room.
No, it didn't. It come from the other room.
I'm sure it came in this room.
Well, either way, we both heard it, and that's the main thing. Hopefully, but the camera would have picked that up, wouldn't it?
Are you here, kids?
Would it? Camera? Would it?
Should have done, yeah.
What about that door there?
No way. Get out of here, Carl.
There's nothing on it, Stu. I can't get out.
Hell.
We actually can't get out.
There's no handle on the door. Crap. Did I catch that door closing?
Oh man, it's locked.
It isn't locked.
It's locked.
It can't be locked, Carl.
I can't open it.
I can't open it.
What's going on? But something's...
Hold on. We are literally locked in.
Hello? Hello?
Wow. That's a whistle. Yeah.
Let's come out of the machine.
Let's go back down.
Can you hear me?
There's nothing recording that, is there?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is recording, yeah.
Can you tell me your name?
You've actually given responses to all the questions you asked.
We'll do it after we've done the vigil, then we'll do. Let's go back into that
Right,
room.
yeah, okay.
It's definitely clean. That whistle was the clearest stuff.
Yeah.
Machine ever heard.
There it is again.
There it is again.
Yeah.
All right, for the sake of the boiler room, I think.
Can we have another whistle?
Immediately.
Immediately. I didn't even finish the word and
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Thank you.
What does it sound like to you?
Listen.
Listen.
It's actually copying
Yeah.
what you're doing.
That is amazing.
That's coming through the machine. That is. Oh, it's copying.
We should go down there. I don't know because
No,
it's
lose it.
because we're here. This place just feels really active to me. This
Every
area.
time you walk away, it's like it's whistling.
Yeah.
To sort of get your attention.
I'm
Oh, did you not hear that? That was a woman. That was a woman.
Yeah, it's a female.
Yeah, okay.
I'm going to go downstairs. I'm going to set the GoPro off recording, and I'm going to come straight back up again. Okay. Just so we've got more footage of it.
Carl, where are you? Where does that go?
That loft is in there. The loft is in there.
Whoa. Hello?
Hello. We're loft in here.
We're here. We are here.
Yeah, but we're here.
Where are you? There you are. I just can't. They've got our attention now, Carl. They're laughing.
And the rest.
They're laughing, so we know
They've locked us in.
they're here.
They've
Right.
locked us in.
How can we get out now? What's through that door?
I have no
There.
idea.
There's a door there, Carl.
Yeah.
Whoa! Get. There's no handle on that neither.
There's nothing on there. There's no handle on it.
I can.
I can't be locked in here, Stu. I can't be locked in here.
It's. You can. The handle's on the other. That's closed. You can see the lock there. Hang on, mate. I'm just coming through that door.
I can't see anything.
I can't see a thing myself. Whoa!
What's this?
I'm tripping up over everything here.
What's this?
Right. Just keep this door open, whatever you do.
This is the corridor.
Is this the corridor we came in?
Yes.
It is. Right, go to that door now, Carl. Go to that door. There's no handle on that door. Oh, that's all we need.
There's no handle. How do we get out, Stuart?
Hang on a minute. Both the doors.
I'm freaked out.
Oh, that is all we need now.
Right. Hello? Kids laughter. Did you hear that?
I heard it down
That's
there.
from down there.
Right. Let's just hang on a minute. Carl, we came in this way, we can get out that way, that's fine. The other two doors...
Which way did we come in?
I'm sure the way
This
you're...
way?
Yeah, I'm sure we did. We've got no torches. Hang on.
Stu, listen. Laughter again.
I've got it, Carl, I've got it.
Did you get it?
I've just pointed that way with the camera, yeah. Thank you for that.
Let's get...
Thank you. Carl, I feel bad.
Why?
Well, we've come all the way up here to find something. Now we've heard it, we've had 2-3 doors closed on us, we're buggering off.
I know, but it was trying to lock us in that room.
I know. We only had one door left, and if it locked us in there, we wouldn't be getting out.
We wouldn't have
No, you're right. No, we're doing the right thing.
I don't mind coming back, I just think we need to come back with people outside the room as opposed to just
So,
us in the room.
who else? Are you going to come back up here?
Well, I think we should. So we've got people outside the rooms as well as inside the room. Okay. Because if they get locked, we need someone to know where we are.
Amazed at what we had experienced, we all assembled to find out what had tried to lock Carl and Stuart in.
Well, it was like, this is the door that we walked through, so that's slammed behind us.
Yeah.
The end door's slammed behind us. Yeah.
Oh, you see? Yeah.
And it's like, you can't open it, and it's either they're joking with us, or they wanted us out of their room, because that's where the laughter was.
Right.
Now that room now is specifically locked.
Okay, let's call out. Let's just call out now.
Let's go. Yeah. Can we set up? Eamon up to it?
Do you want me to set up in here?
I'm all freaked out in here. I really am.
Hello? Hello? Listen. Hello there. Are there any children here? If there are children here, can you tap out for me how many you are? How many of you are here? There are 2 of you. Do you want to have some games? Yeah, we've got some games. We've got some tiny little sweeties that we think. Would you like a little sweet? What would you call sweets? Old-fashioned. Candy? That's American.
Well, the sweets.
It's not changed.
Yeah.
Have you established 1 for yes, 2 for no? Maybe they just don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, Yvette, through that door.
What did you hear? Tell me.
There's movement. I've just heard dragging through that door. We're going to have to go through this way, guys.
Whoa! What was that?
Carl, keep going. Keep going, Carl. I'll stay in here with the camera.
Out here. Something moved out here.
It's been thrown.
There you go. Here.
Here.
It's
Piece
like
of plaster.
something. This door's thrown it. Move.
We can't. That's the door that closed.
That is what? It's a piece of plaster. Is it off the ceiling?
Not here, no, that's been thrown from down there.
But I heard dragging or something in that room then.
Listen.
I can feel this on my foot.
Is that in that room?
Yeah, feel it. Feel it. Yeah, I can feel it.
Come on, open up.
Please,
We can knock too.
Give it a push.
please, can you open the door?
Is that door actually locked?
So like you can't even. Please open the door.
Were you in there before?
We went in there, the doors were all open. We went in there, we heard the laughter, because that's where the laughter was.
Yeah.
We heard a bang, we turned around, the door had shut, it scared the crap out of us. We were about probably 10 foot from that door. We thought we were locked in, and we found that door. We walked through this, into this room, and then we were literally, because I still didn't know we could get back into here at that point, because it's that dark. And then we were literally towards the centre of the room. We heard another bang, and it was bang and laughter. We turned, and that door had gone, and I thought they've locked us in. But then we found, we managed to get out of here.
Hello? Can you hear my voice? If you can hear my voice, can you make A loud noise for me, please.
I think this is where Yvette speaks.
Can you tell me your name?
Right, all this here, this is talking, so I'm going to amplify all of that. Because you actually get a response to that.
Alice.
What? Again?
Alice at the end there, to me, here. Don't know if you can hear that very clearly, because it's coming out of the laptop, but let's just amplify that again.
That does sound like Alice. Alice, are you here?
Should we just try and record it again?
Could you imagine, Carl, if we'd have been in that room and that third door would have locked? We literally would have been in Street. There's no way. We'd have literally had to have gone out through one of the windows.
I didn't have my phone with me, so.
What was that?
What was that? That's what
I have no idea.
What was it?
It was just a really, really loud noise, but all I was doing was just standing still.
What's that?
No, it wasn't.
Was it that?
This? Was it this?
No,
Are you sure?
It's
the same kind of noise.
through the floor. It was one of those noises that wasn't an impact noise. It was like an energy boost noise.
It's really acute.
Keep still.
Wow.
There was a scratch behind that wall, no?
Trouble is, it's behind the wall.
Between the walls.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've had this all night, haven't we?
Something between the walls. I wonder if there's something locked in the walls.
I've just heard movement in that room again. We can't get in and out of that room.
That door's bolted locked.
But there's movement in the room.
Yeah, but the mortise lock's on it. But if you actually look down the seam on the door,
See,
it's fully locked.
That is more freaky than the fact that the mortise lock is on it, which means a key has had to come in the other side and lock the door.
Yeah, because the thing's out, isn't it?
Yeah, if you go to
If you look down the seam, you can actually see the mortise
so that
bolt.
means something has locked it from the inside. Now, Stuart and I went in that one and came out here, so no one else physical could have been in there. I'm tapping it and it's
responding, it's answering, it's responding.
We've never had a response that good.
Yeah, I think you mean.
Glenn, is that coming from behind you?
It's coming from behind me. It actually
In
feels
that
like-
door?
Yeah.
Other side of the door. That's what it sounds like to me.
Yeah,
In that
it's,
room.
It's coming from in there.
When was the last time we got a response?
I'll have a go
Can
now.
anybody pick a lock?
No.
Hang on, let's try again.
But Fred can.
You need to get another. What they need to do is screw one of the handles off the door.
Hang on, let's
go up and down.
Greg, come over. See if you can hear the noise on the camera better.
Is there one on this one?
It's an intelligence, isn't it? I mean,
It's not an echo, is it?
No, here we go.
Do not answer this. Please do not answer this. Can you answer it now?
It's coming from being.
Right, I tell you what. Can you get Stuart? Can you just can you shine a light on this top? I'm going to see if I've got it. See if I can.
It's amazing, isn't it? What do you think then?
Well, if there's somebody in there, you want to be able to see who's in there, don't you? But you can't because the door's locked.
Do you want us to not get in the room?
After you, that. Go. Years of practice. Right, before we all get locked in,
Shall one of us stay
do
with
you
the
want
door?
one
Make
person
sure
to
one of us
stay out
stays out
here,
here. Yeah.
or wedge the door one or the other?
Open that other door then if you can.
That's the door between the door.
What? No, it's not open. There's another
No, there's an inner door, isn't there?
Ah, that's why it sounded like it was coming in between the walls.
The fact we're going to hear, for Glenn's peace of mind,
But we heard knocking from that door that was definitely coming from within here. We've just opened this and we've all come in and there is no one in this room.
Yeah.
We can vouch for that.
Yeah.
After establishing that no one was in the room, we were stunned. This does indeed go to show that sometimes it's good to have a large group on some investigations, as we had 8 people, including one skeptic, witness noises from a room that was definitely empty. The night was moving on and we knew our biggest test lay before us, in the cellars.
What was that?
You want to Stu?
Yeah. Oh! Is there anybody here with us? Oh!
Where are you going, Carl? Carl, don't go up there.
What on earth has just happened?
Oh!
Right, come on. I mean, that is typical horror film.
Yvette. Make Stuart scream.
Yvette, I've caught that on camera.
Until next time, sleep tight.
Leave a message as you go. Find the moment we're alone.